And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and LivingInTheBlack.com. My name is Keedy Owado, aka the Conscious Roster, the brother from the future. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 7 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Monday. It is the 14th of October, year 2024 in the Western calendar, 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and LivingInBlack.com. Today, Indigenous Peoples Commemoration Day. Every day commemorates the First Nations, First Peoples that occupy this terra that we know as North America, Central, South America. Every day we stand in commemoration and appreciation. As we reach for the stars, we remember that we stand upon the shoulders of ancestors, and we do claim the first peoples of the Western Hemisphere as ancestors, since we were, as Africans, the first Americans, as documented very well by the book by Dr. David Imhotep. The first Americans were Africans, praise be his eternal name. He has himself gone on into the realm of the ancestors, and he left this tremendous work. So we commemorate First Peoples Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Here's what we have on the topic for today. Introduction to the book, Living Superfood Solutions. Wake up, everybody. Today we began the process of completing my latest book, Living Superfood Solutions. There can be no denial that the U.S., U.K., and other developed nations have great challenges due to malnutrition and related diseases and disorders like heart disease, cancer, autoimmune disorders, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and many others. What we wish to explore is how diet and nutrition are often the keys to prevention and complete healing. Prevention and complete healing. Prevention and complete healing. So that is what we have on the table for today. I welcome you all to our listening audience. I hope you are in beautiful, beautiful spirits today. I'm going to be reading from the introduction, which right up until the program came on today, I've been feverishly writing. And I think we've got something noteworthy here that you can appreciate. I want to say greetings to Alpha, the Alchemist. I am logged in today, but will be in the background. Great to have you in the house today, Alpha, the Alchemist. And I know you know very well the depth of the research that we're sharing today and why it is so critically necessary. I do continue my summer solstice detox fast, and I'm trying to remember what day it is. It started on the 22nd, so the 22nd through the 30th, that's 8 days, plus we are now 14 days into the new month, so 8 plus 14 is 22, so it's a 28-day fast, so I'm just 6 days, actually 5 days, I think, 5 days away from completing that, my summer, my autumn equinox detox fast. Today was a good day. My reps, my morning reps, I add 5 reps to each of my cycles of core exercises. So I'm up to 200 as of today, 200 knees to the chest, leg lifts, and sit-ups, as well as I have sprinkled a few others. There's actually 9 points to that morning routine. And weighing myself in today, I weighed exactly 5 pounds more than I weighed 44 years ago at age 25. So right on target, right on track. That's why I detox fast. That's why we have routines that we incorporate into our holistic wellness lifestyle. They keep us young, vital, energetic, mentally acute. That's what we are all about. I teach this. I want you to know it. I want you to learn it. It's in my books, especially the book Living Superfood Research. But really, since I came across the 7 principles of optimal health, they have appeared in every book. I don't think I put them in. Well, I know I put them in this new book. I just can't remember exactly where they were put in. So that's what we do, and proud to share the information of how absolutely well this summer solstice and this autumn equinox detox fast has been going. Let's go into today's lesson. Wake up, everybody. This is the introduction to Living Superfood Solutions. I began each chapter with an inspiring quote. This one comes from Michelle Pedula, who's the founder of Harvest and Wellness. She wrote, and I quote, "You can't put a price on health, and there is nothing more empowering than having the knowledge to be able to help yourself and your loved ones if the need arises." That's the fundamental theme of what this book is about. You can't put a price on your health, and there's nothing more empowering than having the knowledge to be able to help yourself and your loved ones if the need arises. Wake up, everybody. I intend to make this book a celebration of life. If I do this correctly, then you, the reader, will be informed, inspired, and excited about what you will learn and confirm along the journey. As for myself, I have been exploring the science of healthy biology for 50 years. From the time when, as a recent high school graduate, I lucked upon a job in the field of molecular biology. I was a cryogenics technician in a facility that facilitated artificial insemination in the cattle industry, a fancy way of saying I was a semen freezer. I learned a lot in that position at Select Sires. Perhaps my greatest insights were that white coat wearing science technicians were ordinary people in an extraordinary career, and that I had more than a surface level interest in mastery of scientific knowledge. From that point, I have continued an intense inquiry about all scientific disciplines over these 5 decades. My passion put me in libraries across the United States on a regular basis during the 30 years that I traveled as a musician. I relished the days when I could spend hours in libraries at Cal State Long Beach, UCLA, USC, Emory, Johns Hopkins, and numerous other campuses. Along the way, my expertise in biology expanded. I studied molecular and cell biology, the immune system, cardiovascular and pulmonary function, and all of the others of the 18 functional body systems. From my mid-20s, the science of diet, especially optimized nutrition, led my passion for scientific inquiry. Once I started amalgamating my studies and published reports into books, It was clinical nutrition in the context of functional medicine that I came to see as my exceptional field of mastery. Clinical nutrition in the context of functional medicine. I continue to study, learn, and expand my knowledge across these fields today. All along this journey, I developed a strong motivation to share what I was learning with all that could possibly benefit. My passions put me into circles, I should say, with some of the most brilliant scholars of the generations. It has been an incredible personal honor to walk alongside these notable health and wellness geniuses. Increasingly, I became a role model for younger, curious travelers. One second. Increasingly, I became a role model for younger, curious travelers. Inspiring brilliant youth is an honor and a privilege. This is cutting-edge research to serve an emerging leadership. With this book, like numerous others that I have completed, I reach out to new curious minds. Let's take a journey together. I intend to provide absolute clarity about this health and wellness journey, the determined destination, and a reasonable timeline for the pending arrival. Along this journey, let's reveal verifiable facts that allow us a precise perspective on what is happening to our bodies, along with those of our family, our community, and the nation. Public declarations of intentionality are good for our highest inner motivation. As you travel along your path of revelations, understanding, and modality shift, I advise that you keep a journal, make copious notes, and follow what you are learning with disciplined commitment. When we reach out to share what we've learned with others, we realize that sometimes people can have a difficult time facing the reality of their situation. This resistance to expand our understanding can be frustrating, especially when you are certain that you can help them overcome troubling challenges. It is fundamental to our human nature that we reach out to help each other face reality and resolve chronic health challenges. There is a sort of mass hypnosis taking place across the society. This is particularly true among the most developed nations. Too often, we are gaslighted by institutions that have gained our trust, often under false pretenses. From early in life, through all of the major social institutions and mass media, we have been led to trust and believe in things that we don't fully understand. Key among these areas where our trust is breached is the medical and pharmaceutical industries. I should say are the medical and pharmaceutical industries. I must also add that food producers, processors, and marketers also gaslight the public, telling us that they have got our best self-interest at heart, despite the empirical evidence that demonstrates otherwise. I need you to trust that I won't do that to you. I contend that just reading 10 or more pages of this book will confirm that I am on your side, the side of long life, vitality, and disease-free living. Everybody's not your friend. It's sometimes hard to discuss issues related to the medical pharmaceutical complex without wanting to speak in deleted expletives. Since being ordained as a priest a dozen years ago, I have kept myself from using curse words when more empowering language would allow for better outcomes. However, without cussing about it, everybody's not your friend. My studies have examined the roles of medical education, the American Medical Association certification for medical licensing, universities, mass media, peer-reviewed science journals, government regulatory agencies, leading science spokespersons, highly regarded media outlets, and a broad spectrum of the food production and distribution network. One profound revelation that I have come to determine is that they all lie about important information, or at least omit key information that would best be known to the consuming public. Here, let me read that again. One profound revelation I have come to determine is that they all lie about important information, or at least omit and withhold key information that would be best known to the consuming public. These liars and the lies they tell can be deadly. There is a medical term called iatrogenic, which translates to, quote, death or injury from medicine, unquote. I refer to this phenomena as, quote, death by doctor, unquote. I referred to it extensively in my book, Living Super in Paradise, Creating Space for Perfect Health. I wrote, in part, I need not apologize for the tedious details necessary to explain this extremely shocking rate of morbidity and mortality from the U.S. healthcare system. We also note the callous nature by which the offending healthcare corporations are being sheltered by slackness within the nation's regulatory agencies and the news media, who have failed to shine a light on the crisis. Your life and those of your loved ones are in grave danger every time that a health incident requires contact with and reliance upon mainstream healthcare providers. Because these collaborating agencies cannot be trusted, my instructions to all concerned parties are to take control of this risk by disciplining themselves to properly manage health challenges. Don't rely on external influencers to determine your ultimate health outcome. Stop blaming those who you know are consistently doing wrong and hurting many families with their policies. Yeah, they are out to get you. What are you going to do about it? That was an excerpt from the book Living Super in Paradise. It seemingly doesn't matter how many people they misdiagnose, injure, kill, families exploited and bankrupted. We have all been programmed to give the mainstream medical industries the benefit of any doubts. They have long exploited and profited from our ignorance. We are going to have to be much better informed as consumers of healthcare services within this nation. I next talk about a pervasive false paradigm. We have been told for so long that Western medicine, in particular the American model, is a supreme standard for healthcare and disease mitigation. This is very far from the truth. Put into context the sheer numbers injured and killed each year by pharma induced iatrogenics, we share the following points. Point 1, we talk about iatrogenesis, death by doctor. Point 2, the mysterious disappearance of the Federal Adverse Events Reporting System, FAERS, of the Food and Drug Administration. Point 3, inadequacy of the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System. We share the following about medical reporting in popular media. And I would say popular corporate media. We talk about the inadequacy of colleges and universities in medical education. And in the context of what we're discussing, we talk about federal regulatory agencies and their localized counterparts. Going further, and again, I'm at the point where this morning I woke up and feverishly wrote, corrected, and did everything I can to finish the introductory chapter. But I reached a point right now where my morning writing ran out. But we got some great information here yet. The medical pharma complex is a problem. The medical pharma complex is a problem. It is. We're not supposed to say so. We're not supposed to know it or show it. We're not supposed to tell other people about it, lest we, like myself, get banned. But the medical pharmaceutical complex is a problem. The numbers are staggering. We talk about iatrogenics, death by doctor. And in the book, and I guess I'll have to copy and cut and paste these numbers here, we talk about huge numbers of adverse drug reactions that's supposed to have been reported annually, quarterly, by the Federal Adverse Events Reporting System. But the numbers were expanding so rapidly that somehow, some way, a decision was made to stop publishing the numbers of Americans injured or killed annually, quarterly, by adverse drug reactions to quote-unquote properly prescribed medicines. They reported it up through the first quarter of 2014. I have the book here handy. Let me grab it off the shelf since I am going to include this information in the final published version. So let me just show you what happened there. The Federal Adverse Events Reporting System. Here's what I wrote. Let me back up a little bit and put this into context. This is from Living Super in Paradise, page 27. My own June 2016 list, which I have updated several times since it was first published, partially relied on a 2004 study by Gary Null, PhD et al., entitled Death by medicine, which was still being referred to as the most comprehensive tally of iatrogenic injury and death. Null's 2004 study calculated that as many as 783,936 Americans were dying each year from bad medical outcome. 12 years later, my research raised that figure to an estimated 1,069,000. The top 10 causes of iatrogenic deaths in the U.S., which I listed, were as follows. Number 1, medical injuries in hospitals, ranging from 251,000 to as many as 400,000 based upon 2016 data. Number 2, medical errors in outpatient clinics, 199,000 according to 2014 data. Number 3, adverse drug reactions, ADRs, according to FAERS 2014, 123,927 deaths per year. Bed sores, 115,000. Malnutrition, 108,800. Hospital-acquired infections, 98,987, according to 2015 data. Number 7, unneeded medical and surgical procedures, 37,100. Number 8, antibiotic-resistant superbugs from non-hospitalized patients, 24,000. Surgery-related deaths, 32,000. And lastly, failed therapies, question mark, question mark, question mark. There's no way really of calculating how many deaths are caused by inadequate, failed therapies. It's very likely that this calculation of iatrogenic deaths could be even higher. The number of annual deaths from adverse drug reactions to, quote, properly prescribed medicines is attributable to the Federal Adverse Events Reporting System, FAERS. Yet, this online reporting system abruptly stopped tallying annual figures on deaths from adverse drug reactions after the first quarter of 2015. Tracing stated figures from 2006, when 37,309 annual deaths were reported, to the last complete year, 2014, where 123,927 deaths were reported, we could see that these figures consistently increase year on year by an average of 10,827 deaths. The last tally for the first quarter of 2015 reported 44,693 deaths, which might have forecast close to 180,000 deaths for that year had the FAERS accounting continued. To resolve this gap in FAERS reporting on annual deaths from adverse drug reactions, I created a graphic chart from existing data showing the rise from 2006 to 2014. I then projected this chart continuing to the year 2017. According to my calculations from charting this trend and allowing for an annual increase of ADRs of 10,827 per year, by the end of 2017, it would be forecast to reach 200,426 adverse drug reaction deaths per year in the U.S. 211,215 Americans are projected to die from adverse drug reactions to properly prescribed medications in 2018. Predicted injuries from ADRs for 2018 are expected to top 1.5 million in the United States. And it goes on. This is a very, very important chapter of a very, very good book that overwhelming majority of people are not aware of. And then I realized when I was writing the book, I was checking some older data, and I realized I wrote about the very same subject in 1999. Was that 1998? I was writing about it as well then. So we have been on this subject. I'm going to come back to this subchapter. The medical pharmaceutical complex is a problem. And I'll say refer to Living Super in Paradise. It is a problem with misdiagnoses. Misdiagnoses are absolutely, ubiquitous. I talk to people on a regular basis about what's going on with their body. And when I spend 20, 30 minutes sometimes asking them questions about their health, detailed questions. And I find that the medical industries are woefully uninformed or not informing their clients about the true status of what is going on with their bodies. We talked about the problem of iatrogenics. Very big problem. We talk about the problem in this book and another book that I'm writing on, A Year Against Cancer is the book. It's called Living Superfood, A Year Against Cancer. That's the title. With Living Superfood Solutions is the subtitle. But we talk about drug-caused diseases, so-called side effects. Well, these side effects, now listen. These side effects of taking prescribed drugs are themselves symptoms. Now, here's the logic here. If these symptoms show up in your body without you taking the drugs, then the symptoms become evidence of a disease being caused. But the symptoms that would indicate the disease these symptoms equating a disease would also indicate, if the drugs were not present, that there is a disease present. So in other words, the drug-caused side effects, symptoms, are evidence of the drugs causing diseases. Now that is perfectly logical. I hope you all heard exactly what I said. It's perfectly logical. We are encouraged to pay for our own demise. That's as big an insult as a mafia murderer we've seen so many times in the movies. Telling the person they're about to murder, taking them out, giving them a shovel, and say, dig your own grave. We are encouraged to pay. Let them profit from our own demise. I want to share an excerpt that I pulled up here to illustrate exactly what I'm talking about. This is from Trends in Healthcare Spending from the JAMA Network Research, July 9, 2024. And again, the JAMA is the Journal of the American Medical Association. Here's what they wrote, and I quote, health spending in the U.S. increased by 4.1% in 2022 to $4.5 trillion, or $13,493 per capita. This growth rate is comparable to pre-pandemic rates, 4.1% in 2019. Although government spending to manage the pandemic led to substantial increases in national healthcare expenses, these expenditures significantly declined in 2021, while utilization of medical goods and services rebounded. By 2022, top-level patterns in health spending more closely related that of the pre-pandemic period. Yeah, again, that pandemic threw a whole lot of data across health and wellness industries. A whole lot of that data was thrown into flux because the numbers were just crazy. I'm not going to go into that in today's conversation. But we have got to realize, people, insurance companies profit from and despite our illnesses. Oh, yes, that's true. They cannot be expected to blow the whistle on the catastrophe, although insurance actuaries can and have alerted medical authorities to the problems that they were discovering. I'm not going to go into that because we are simulcasting on YouTube today, and I'm not allowed to say anything else about that. Despite it all, they will still seek to profit. We can only imagine the conversations that actuaries have within their boards of directors regarding the problems with common medical practices versus the best interest of their clients and their own profiting bottom line. Whistleblowers do exist, and whistleblowers should be listened to. And I could make a list of whistleblowers that have done the best they can to expose what is going on in the medical, pharmaceutical, drug industries. There have been many, many, from Dr. Gary Null to Michael Trudeau to a bunch of them whose names don't readily come to mind. Joseph Mercola readily comes to mind. Mike Adams. These people banished to the hinterlands for reading medical science journals and telling people that popular media and government agencies are not informing the public as to how to best protect their own self-interest. It's obvious, the data obviously shows the public is getting sicker and sicker as the expenses for paying for all of this health and wellness care, miscare, is getting so much more expensive, expanding at a rate much higher than national inflation. Whistleblowers do exist and should be listened to. With this book, we propose an alternative pathway, a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift in how you and I think about and are prepared to act toward our own best self-interest in health and wellness, in disease prevention and disease reversal, a fundamental paradigm shift. This book intends to fill the needs to increase our own individual scientific literacy and to alert a larger section of the public to the alternatives toward health maintenance that have been available for thousands of years. In the book, Living Superfood Life, I talk extensively about alternative medical practices. I list, I think, 32 or so of them, including acupuncture, herbal therapies, nutrition supplementation, optimized nutrition. We talk about hyperthermia, hyperbaric therapies, saturating our bodies in oxygen chambers. Oh, there's a whole spectrum of them. Sound therapy, aromatherapy, what's it called? I have the long list of them. Homeopathic, that's the word I'm looking for. Homeopathy. All of these alternatives exist, and now we're actually seeing that they're being incorporated into mainstream medical practices ever more and more because the consuming public is going to their doctors and saying, hey, I heard this helps. I heard this helps. I heard this helps. And if the doctor just dismissed them outright, they know they would lose that client. They don't want to lose the client. The insurance bills are too high. Their medical education was too high. They got to bring in the bank. So they will use this, and they call it complementary medicine. But you and I know it as functional medicine. And functional medicine is very, very important if we are to develop the right situation, the right routines that allow us to maintain our optimized health and wellness. Just double checking to see if anybody is talking to me today. Alpha the Alchemist, I see you in the house. Nobody else talking to me. I hope everybody at least take a second, take you half a second, less than that. You hit the like button for today's broadcast. And if you feel motivated, if you think that this book I'm writing, Living Superfood Solutions, sounds like a good idea, or if you think there's something, a living superfood disease or disorder solution that should be put in the book, please do speak up. Your input matters. Your input is highly relevant to make this book as useful as possible. Alpha the Alchemist, thank you for being in the house. Thank you always for being responsive, response-able. That is appreciated, my brother. Sawubona, I see you, dear brother. Continuing. So, this book intends to fill the need to increase medical, healthcare, and scientific literature. Literacy, I should say, literacy. When you go to the doctor, they quite often are just going to order up diagnostics. They'll listen to you for a minute or two, but they don't get paid by the practice of listening. They get paid by recommending diagnostic tests, of which they will get a kickback, or use the money from their diagnostic tests to pay for the very expensive machines that they bought. But we need to, when we go to the doctor, we need to have our own questions to diagnose their competence and responsibility to deal with our primary health self-interest. Yes, we need to have questions. I always say to my clients, please, please, please have questions that you're going to ask your medical practitioner. And if possible, know the answer to those questions before you ask them. You may find what I have discovered is that sometimes they're not as good as they pretend to be. Sometimes we ask them a question. I've asked questions of these medical practitioners and found out their arrogance in their limited knowledge, and also in unprepared to learn from somebody who's supposed to be lesser educated than themselves. That's just arrogance. But it's true, and it's pervasive. In a world where chronic diseases are on the rise, the quest for effective natural solutions has never been more urgent. This book delves into the transformative power of plant-based living foods, an approach that not only nourishes the body, but also promotes healing and disease prevention. Rooted in the profound wisdom of nature, plant-based living foods are rich in essential nutrients, enzymes, and antioxidants that work synergistically to support optimal health. Unlike processed foods, which often contribute to inflammation and disease, living foods are consumed in their most natural state. preserving their vital energy and nutritional integrity. Like everything else in life, those who fail to plan to fail. The same is true with our bodies. We need to have a strong vision of ourselves as healthy, prosperous, energetic, and youthful. That image of self must become pervasive. It must accompany us every hour of every day, and we need not feel ashamed to project such confidence in ourselves. Then we naturally create a foolproof plan to manifest that supreme healthy version of our best self. This book is a compelling exploration of the benefits of a plant-based living food diet and the lifestyle that supports it. This book is a compelling exploration of the benefits of a plant-based living food diet and the lifestyle that supports and accompanies it. It emphasizes the importance of nutrition in preventing chronic disease. Chronic diseases, plural. This is indeed a valuable topic, as an immense body of research has highlighted the powerful impact of plant-based nutrition on overall health. The journey to such health begins with understanding the profound impact that diet and lifestyle have on our well-being. Scientific research has shown that a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and sprouts can significantly reduce the risk of chronic illnesses such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and others. These foods are not only packed with vitamins and minerals, but also contain phytonutrients that have powerful anti-inflammatory and immune boosting properties. By embracing a plant-based living food lifestyle, individuals can harness the healing potential of nature's bounty, leading to improved energy, enhanced mental clarity, and a much stronger immune system. Living Superfood Solutions aims to provide readers with practical guidance on how to incorporate more living foods, more superfoods into their daily diet. From delicious recipes to tips on sourcing and preparing fresh vegetables, we will offer a comprehensive roadmap to a healthier, more vibrant life. Whether you're looking to prevent disease, manage or reverse an existing condition, or simply enhance your overall well-being, the plant-based living food approach offers a sustainable and effective path to health and vitality. I encourage each and every one of you to join us on this journey. Discover the life-changing benefits of nature's most powerful foods, always keeping in mind that food is nature's most perfect medicine. In today's fast-paced world, chronic diseases have become epidemic, with millions of people worldwide struggling with conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, cancer, obesity, etc. The conventional approach to healthcare often focuses on treating symptoms with medication rather than addressing the root causes of these illnesses. However, a growing body of scientific evidence suggests that a plant-based diet rich in whole unprocessed foods holds the key to preventing and even reversing many of these chronic diseases. By embracing a lifestyle that prioritizes living foods, we harness the remarkable healing potential of nature's pharmacology. This book explores the latest research and expert insights on how a plant-based diet can be tailored to address specific health concerns, from cardiovascular disease to autoimmune disorders to vitiligo and sickle cell disease. From the gut microbiome to epigenetics, we'll delve into the intricate mechanisms by which whole foods can modulate gene expression, regulate inflammation, where whole foods can modulate gene expression, regulate inflammation, and boost immune function. We will from time to time share inspiring stories of recovery and transformation, as well as practical guidance on meal planning, cooking, and lifestyle strategies. This book empowers readers to take control of their health and well-being by making informed choices about the foods we eat and the habits we cultivate. We can unlock the full potential of plant-based living and thrive in body, mind, and spirit. Lastly, in closing, in summary, in a world where diseases are on the rise, the quest for effective natural solutions has never been more urgent. This book delves into the transformative power of lifestyles that not only nourish the body, of lifestyles that not only nourish the body but also promote healing and disease prevention. Rooted in the wisdom of nature, plant-based foods are rich in essential nutrients, enzymes, antioxidants that work synergistically to support optimal health. Unlike processed foods, which often contribute to inflammation and disease, living foods are consumed in their most natural state, preserving their vital energy and nutritional integrity. This journey to health, to optimize health, begins with understanding. This journey to optimize health begins with understanding the profound impact that diet has on our well-being. Scientific research has shown that specific diets rich in fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and sprouts can significantly reduce the risk of chronic diseases. These foods are not only packed with vitamins and minerals, but also contain numerous phytochemicals or phytonutrients that have powerful anti-inflammatory and immune-boosting properties. This book aims to provide readers with practical guidance on how to incorporate more living foods into their daily diet. This book sounds like a miracle. It is a compelling exploration of the benefits of this plant-based lifestyle that I'm describing. and it constantly emphasizes the importance of nutrition and diet in reversing and preventing and or reversing chronic disease. This is indeed a very valuable topic for us to be studying. And on that note, we continue. Well, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Let me see if I have any more commentary coming in. Again, I was writing furiously this morning as fast as I could. Queen Mother Kashiba, I see you have joined the house. She says, a TEP family. And also Queen Mother Kashiba, she's been with me, with us, for many of our classes and studies that we've done in the various Zoom and online classes. And so with your continued blessings, Queen Mother, Brother Alpha the Alchemist, Basu Randa for Africa One, Nefertem, and everybody else who tunes in regularly, with your continued blessings, I am preparing to complete my first book of the year. After publishing 10 books last year, it was a bit overwhelming. This year I decided I would focus as much as possible on selling the previous books and putting the word out that we have these solutions. But then I just couldn't hold back. I couldn't hold this book back. And I have another one that as soon as we finish the studies, I'm going to go right into the next book for our studies while writing both books, completing the first and writing the second in the background. Anticipating this one, Living Superfood Solutions, I expect to deliver it from the printer to the earliest people to get the book the first week of December 1st, and before the end of that month, I wish to have the second book ready to go. That book called Disaster Preparation for World Wars 5 and 6. It's going to be an interesting journey, y'all. This is a lot of work. Queen Mother Kashiba, because of your support, because of the support of many of you over the years, I can afford to write. It's not always easy. As you know, every one of you know, the cost of living in America and UK and Canada and other developed nations, Jamaica, wherever we find ourselves, the cost of living is rising at an extraordinary pace above our wages. So it's a tough road ahead. Hopefully by the time you finish reading this book, you will have cut your medical expenses very significantly. That's what the book is intended to do, using food and nutrition, diet, lifestyle, to prevent and to reverse chronic disease diagnoses. What an honor, what a privilege it is to be of service to a great and noble people. I encourage each and every one of you to take advantage of what knowledge I have acquired. I do work as a clinical nutritionist, functional medicine practitioner. So you can text me to access the spectrum of nutrition solutions that we have amassed to solve your problems. That text number is 702. Bear with me here. 702 580-0662. And for some odd reason, it didn't show. 702 580-0662. That's it. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's been a good day today here on LIV Radio. I didn't even have to use my AK. That's what I say. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you. On your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIV Radio, LIV TV. We are livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends. We have solutions. We have solutions. We have wonderful, usable, viable solutions. And we aim to change and transform the world. Ain't no stopping us now. Ain't no holding us back. We are not people of small ambition. On your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIV Radio, LIV TV. We are livinginblack.com. Peace, y'all.